Hello, beautiful Instagram. It's been quite the while. And this is not my real voice. So if you've never seen me use my voice before, I can assure you I don't usually sound like this. But I need to break this spell of feeling poorly and not show my face, because otherwise this could go on for another week. And I'm lonely. I want to go and do something. I have literally cancelled all of my client sessions, all of my programs, all my podcast interviews. Like, everything has just been cancelled for the last 7 days. And I'm so over it now. So I'm like, just go and use the voice, see if it works. And if it doesn't work, you can just end. So I'm live. Although my voice really hurts when I talk, so I don't know how long this is going to last for. But I wanted to talk about a reel I posted earlier, which is why content creation really feels hard. And it's not that you need another content creating course, another content creating coach, although learning the skills of good content creation that converts clients is important. I am not saying we don't need this skill. But my point is around if it feels hard. Because usually if content creation feels hard, what I've discovered through my own experience and working with clients is it's actually not about how to structure the post and what to write and all the different things. It's actually that you are just focusing on the wrong niche, the wrong ideal client, one that doesn't completely turn your heart like burning hot, like that you're super passionate about. It's something that's you've either decided it's a good idea. It's it's a good idea to talk about this. There's an industry there. I'm going to be able to sell stuff. I'm going to be able to make money if I talk about this. But it's either something that you've not had a lot of experience in yourself, you've not been through that journey yourself, or you're just not that passionate about it. And this is what happened with me, right? Sorry, this is going to be so annoying. I'm going to keep this short so you don't have to listen to me cough loads. But if anyone doesn't know my story, I used to be a marketing director, right? So I headed up marketing. I worked in marketing for 17 years. I used to head up marketing for huge brands. And when I decided when I had my first child and I decided I didn't want to have that lifestyle anymore because it was a lot of hours, it was away from work a lot, it was an exciting job, it was a brilliant job. It just wasn't, for me, the right thing to be doing when I had a child. I decided I couldn't launch myself as a marketeer, even though I was one of the most qualified and successful marketeers in the UK, because I was used to having a huge budget, right? I had a 45 million budget in my latest role. I used to head up 2 different brands and I did everything from research, PR, TV ads, literally everything, in store. I did everything, right? And so it's well, I don't know how to market without money. So I need to prove I can grow businesses without money before I start selling myself as a marketing business coach, right? I have a lot of integrity. I'm a type 1 Enneagram. So I launched a nutrition business because I'd studied nutrition in the background a lot of times. Ever since I was 24, I'd done multiple, I had a degree, then I got a master's degree, then I did a diploma, and then I went back and did another 3-year diploma, not just I nearly swore then, rubbish diploma, a proper 3-year diploma. And so I kept going back and studying nutrition. I found it really interesting. I was right, I must launch as a nutritionist, because then I can prove I can build this business that without money, and then I can teach other people how to create their business as well, and as a full-time mum as well. So it's great story. So, and my passion at that time was I had been a burnt-out workaholic who had lost her menstrual cycle. I had migraines, acne, night sweats, anxiety, depression, all the different things, right? A lot of health issues. If you don't know, I had an eating disorder when I was younger. And so I thought I'd lost my menstrual cycle because of that. And I just kind of didn't really care because I was a workaholic, didn't want kids, didn't matter to me. I didn't have a menstrual cycle, didn't really understand the implication of not bleeding every single month. I just thought it was great. But anyway, long story short, gone back to more nutrition, learned that potentially the reason I didn't have a menstrual cycle wasn't because of that. It was because I was a workaholic. I didn't get enough sleep. I massively overexercised. I had a too low fat diet, all the different things, right? So I brought my health back. Then I decided I did want to be a mum. We fell pregnant. The rest is history. So when I launched my business, I was like, I really wanted to like actually do corporate wellness. That's why I launched it. And I was like, actually, I want to go and help women in leadership like me who work in all the different hours. They have a lot of stress. They have big teams, all the different things, but need to support their health through the hustle. And my tagline was maintain your health through the hustle. And I was going to do corporate wellness. And this was in July 2020. So that's when I launched my Instagram. I launched an Instagram. It was like maintain your health through the hustle. This is what it's targeted at. And that was July. In the August, I bought a program to create and launch your first group program. So that working to that one-to-many model, which I thought was a great idea because I was a full-time mum and I was very adamant I wasn't going to send my child to nursery. I wanted, I'd left having children later in life. I wanted to be there, blah, blah, blah. So I did this online program and I got 1 30-minute one-to-one with a coach, the coach that was running the program. And in that one-to-one, she's chatting to me. She's like, I get it. Like, I get why you want to do what you're doing, Linda. Like, it makes sense. But, like, why aren't you doing fertility? And I was like, well, never really been a passion of mine. She was like, yeah, but it's your story. I was like, is it my story? And she's like, well, yeah, because, like, you're infertile. You got your fertility back. You had a child. And this is why you've launched a business. And I was like, okay, yeah, that could be a story, right? You could create that story. Wasn't really my why, but I could create the story anyway. And she was like, there's a lot of money in fertility. People throw money at fertility. I was like, okay, I'll become the fertility expert. So my business ended up pivoting before I'd even got off the ground into a fertility business. I launched it as a fertility business. I launched it with a 10-week fertility program with VIP upgrades to get clients in. Very successful, worked well, great idea from the business coach. However, it was never like my true passion. And the whole time I ran that business, content creation was so hard. Even though I'd created this 10-week program and I had different modules each week of all the different things that impact fertility. So egg and sperm health, hormone stuff, gut stuff, like immune system stuff, all the different things that impact fertility. I could have just gone in there on any day and copied and pasted some content out of the program, turned it into a post and posted it. Like there was just a wealth of information there. But I still found it so hard, so draining. And every time I used to do a post, it used to take me like 2 hours to do it. And I did the fertility thing for a really long time. And then I've like toed and froed and done different things, like done energy programs. And I moved into a healthy weight loss program at the start of this year because I'd had that history. It's Priya! Oh my God, sorry everybody that you just had to experience what it's like when I see Priya. But I get very excited. I launched this which actually Priya is in right now. I launched this healthy weight loss program, right? That was all about anti-restriction, anti-diet. It was how to teach women how to balance their hormones, to heal their gut and turn their body into a fat burning machine so that we don't have to think about calories and things, which actually, when we restrict calories, they make us gain weight. And there's a whole story. It's not important. It's not relevant to this page. Go to my health page if you're interested. But when I was launching that program, I was so passionate about it. I was so excited to be doing this because for 2 years I'd wanted to do this program. 2 years I'd sat on it and gone, I just want to teach women how to really turn their body into a fat burning machine. And I want to stop people dieting and I want people to stop doing restricting. And I want to stop people skipping breakfast and skipping lunch if they're going out for dinner and running more on the running machine the next day and blah, blah, blah. Like I just want to do all these different things. So at the start of the year when I was launching that program, I was so passionate about it and content creation was really, really easy. And I ran 2 rounds back to back. And then I was going into my 3rd round and I was just like ready to move on. I've got an open G in human design. Like my identity is constantly changing. It just like I just didn't have the energy for this like last round, but I'd committed to do this program back to back for a year. So then what happened was I was going into this last round and content creation suddenly became really heavy again. And everything was kind of taking me like 2 hours to do again. So like one post would take me 2 hours. And then what would happen was I would post, and this is the same with the fertility thing, I would post like 3 times a week and that was burning me out. Like that felt like so much. I had like 3 posts this week. I'm absolutely exhausted. If I did 4, it'd be like I wouldn't post for a week. I was so tired. And what was really happening out of this burning desire to really move over to this account full time. So I launched this account I used to merge them both in one account. This whole story last year. I used to have business and health stuff together in one account. It was an absolute nightmare for the algorithm. I decided to split it out in January. And then because I went so heavy and the health program did so well and like we know the story, it made a lot of money. And so I just didn't have time to focus here. But I'd got to that stage where I was like, I now just want to teach everything I've learned and just go full time in the business. Like I'm a marketeer. Like there's a reason I did this for 17 years. I've got a Gemini MC. I've got 5 planets in Taurus, like my Venus, my Mercury, my Mars, my Taurus. Like I'm here to, my sun. I'm here to like teach people about building wealth. I'm here to teach people about money. Like obviously it's all the codings there. 9th house, teacher, all the different things, right? And so it's like, so much is just like, I just want to go all in on this now, but I've kind of already committed to do this final round of my program. So I was like, blah, 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 right? So it's really hard. And then I was just like, when I just made the decision one day and I'm like, look, it's done, right? That launch is done. I've got the people in that need to be in there. I'm just going to close the doors. We're going to start early and I'm going to go full time on this account. And I've gone full time on this account for just over 2 weeks. And I've pretty much posted twice a day for just over 2 weeks, apart from Sunday when I was absolutely just couldn't even get out of bed and I didn't do anything. And it is so easy. I could probably do 5 posts a day if I really wanted to sit on my app and sit and engage and stuff, but I don't really spend that much time on Instagram because I'm not really big on being on phones. But I could literally write posts all day long here. And the reason why is I'm absolutely obsessed with helping women build businesses, build financial freedom, believe in themselves, like use their voice, be seen. Like for me, I was the person who was always like told to like shrink, don't take up too much space. I'm physically big. I'm a tall person. I'm 5'8". So ever since I was little, I used to go dancing. I was a person that always got put on the back row because I was tall. And so all the little girls used to always be at the front. I was always at the back because I was tall. I was the person who in school photos always got put on the back row with the boys because I was tall while all the other girls were at the front. And someone said this to me the other day, like, it makes no sense though, because if they were sat on the floor cross legs, why did you have to stand at the back? Why couldn't you be sat on the floor cross legs? I'm like, yeah, like my body isn't that long. But anyway, whatever. I'm like always getting told I was put to go to the back. And then when I was in corporate job, I was like, remember vividly a conversation with one of my bosses once said to me, she's like, Linda, you're a big person. You've got a big smile. You've got a big personality. You've got a big voice. Like you intimidate people. Like you really need to like tone it down to bring people on board. Because obviously I was having to sell in like my marketing plans, right? And I was like, we're going to do this and this is the reason we need to do it. But it was like, you need to take them on the journey and make yourself small and like make them like, and I was just like, what? And so I'd like all my life from being a child all the way up to like my corporate career, it was always like, you're too much, you're too much, you're too much, you're too big, you're taking up too much space, you need to go to the back, right? And there's been so much deconditioning around this message since I have been building my own business, because at the start it was like, I don't want to take up too much space. I don't want to like speak too much on social media. I don't want anyone to know to find me. I need to like block everybody that possibly knows me because I don't want them to see me like being who I really am and being seen and all these different things, right? And so I'm so passionate about helping other women with this. I'm so passionate about women like actually using their voices, being seen, taking up space and all these different things, that for me, when I'm writing content, it's so easy. I'm so passionate about helping women with their marketing because it gets to be so easy. If anyone knows me, you know, I don't believe in being on all the different channels. I don't believe it. I built a 6-figure business as a full-time mum with an Instagram account. I didn't have a Facebook group. I didn't have a Facebook page. I hate Facebook. I sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's probably going to block this video now. I don't have TikTok. I don't have all these different things, right? Like, I believe in keeping it really simple, like scaling your business from a really simple place, keeping it as simple as possible. One niche, one offer, have a VIP upgrade, one channel, just like build from there. And then you can scale beyond that. Like, yeah, then you can add the podcast. Then you can add X, Y, Z, what you want to do, but you don't need to be doing all the different things. And my message is so like unique and different to what other people teach. You know, all these manifesting generators out there are going to tell you to be at every single different place and to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work all day and work all the way through to midnight. And if you're not working from 5 a.m. till midnight, you don't care enough about your business. And like, no, I built a business as a breastfeeding full-time mum who was being woken 4 or 5 times a night with a child attaching to the nipple. Like, I did not have the energy to be waking up before my child and to staying up after he went to bed. I went to bed with him at 7:30 at night and I got as much sleep as I possibly could before I had to get up in the morning. And I built my business around that in nap times and at weekends when my husband would give me support, right? And that is what I did. And I don't want anybody else feeling like they need to be like working all the different hours and being in all the different places. The truth is, until you master one channel, God, I'd never expect, right? I come on these things, I never plan them, and you just see what happens. If you can't master one channel, adding in the other channels isn't going to help anyway. Because if your message isn't working on one channel, going to a different channel isn't the solution unless you're in the wrong channel for you, right? So say, for example, you were using Instagram as your main channel and you're a TikTok person, you spend all your life on TikTok and you love TikTok and it's like your energy, it's your space, then actually maybe go over there instead and don't use this channel. I went on TikTok for 8 days, never used it as a consumer, didn't enjoy it, didn't enjoy anything about it, like just didn't enjoy anything about it. And other than the fact I didn't know anything about the algorithms, I didn't feel like I had to play the game. Like that's the one thing I did like. I was like, I don't know anything about this. So like I'm just posting and it's telling me I've like reached 800 people and that's nice because I've got like 1 follower and that's great. Like I loved that for like a few days. It's like, great, yeah, I'm getting all this reach with like no followers. But it's like, I don't like being here. I didn't want to like open the app and stuff. So it wasn't the right space for me. I'm a long form content girl, right? I listen to audiobooks. I'm on YouTube. So my strategy moving forward will be, because I have, been running a business for 3 years and I have got used, even though this is a new account, I've got used to like Instagram, right? I'm fine with it. I can add other things to it. Like my strategy going forward will be using YouTube more. It's about doing more long form content. It'll be coming in here and doing more lives because I like to talk. I like to take up space. I like to use my voice. And so it's about finding the right place for you, right? And I didn't expect so many different tangents, but when you like really love who it is you are serving, when you really love the message that you're putting out there, when you are fully embodied in what it is you teach, and you are in a location, i.e. social media platform that you love, a place that you use as well, it's going to feel so much more easy for you. So didn't expect to talk about the actual channel, but it came out. So there we go. So based on that, I am going to keep this short because I think it's been about 15 minutes. And I think let's just not go on and on when we've already made the point. If you are finding content creation hard, it is not a sign that you need to go and buy another course, that you need to go and pay for someone else to teach you how to do it. Before you do that, by all means, you might need to do that further down the line. But the first thing I would do, I'd just be connecting to my why. Like, why did you launch the business in the first place? If you haven't launched, or why are you thinking about building your business? Why did you launch the business in the first place? Who is it you wanted to serve? How do you want to serve them? What specific things is it that you want to help them with? So I sort of say, put your number one thing down. Like, what is the biggest thing that they're struggling with that they need your help with, right? What's the number one thing? Like, what specifically is it, right? Like, for me, it's like stopping women, like, getting them out of their own way and just doing the damn thing. Like, stop like questioning themselves. Like, I always say, it's like, I take you from second guessing and undercharging to like owning your worth, stepping into power and claiming your audacious desires, right? And that's financial, and it's like what a business looks like and all the different things, right? But it's like, what's the like that number one thing that they're struggling with, they need your help with? And then what are like 5 sub things underneath that? So say, for example, it's like, I just need to get out their own way. They want to be confident speaking on camera. They like need to understand how to put a signature program together, like whatever it is, like the things. And then just start to create content around that big main pillar and then 5 kind of sub things. And if you're absolutely obsessed with it, you absolutely love it, it's going to be really easy. Like when you start to then break down the different content pillars that you need, so you need your educational content that shows you are the expert in what it is that you teach, and you've got educational stuff. There's a lot of people saying, I don't do education anymore. Like, it's so boring. It's like, no, who's going to pay just for story? Like, they need to know the expert, right? Like, do some educational content. Then it's your story content. It's your story. It's your story. It's the journey that you've been on. The micro story, the big story, the little stories along the way. There's so many different things. Recent story, like recent thing that you've moved through, like loads of story, right? Client story. How have you helped clients transform their lives? Where were they? Where did you get them to? All the different things, story stuff. And then it's like the standout content. It's the authority content. It's like what you believe in that other people don't, and that you want to put your voice out there about. It's like me saying, like, I don't believe you need to be everywhere. I don't believe you need to be up at 5 and work until 12 o'clock. These kind of things, right? These things that are your beliefs. I believe in working with astrology and human design, right? Not everyone's cup of tea, but these are some things I believe. So what are the things that you believe? What are things important? Creating content around those different areas in the sub-subjects, and then being on the place that you found a home, like the social media channel that you enjoy to be? Do you enjoy being on social media as Instagram as a consumer? Do you enjoy being on YouTube as a consumer? Do you enjoy being on TikTok as a consumer? Like, where do you like to consume? Because where you consume is likely where your ideal client likes to consume as well. So that is the message of today. I think the voice did better than I was expecting to. I'm really happy. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to try and come back more frequently with the ideal lives now, because as I say, I'm a long form content kind of girl. I like to give value. I like to talk a lot. So hopefully it's still valuable when I talk a lot, because it's not just like fluff. So yeah. And also I've got a podcast. If you guys don't know this, I do have a podcast. It's called Iconic, the podcast. Just search for Iconic, the podcast with Linda Strone on the app. That has some guest interviews. We're coming back with season 2 of guest interviews starting in about a week and a half. But there's also some solo episodes and my weekly activated live, which is where I do a live training on Zoom every single week. It's completely free. It's on a Tuesday at 4 p.m. If you want to come to that, drop me a DM and I'll let you know how you can join us. The replays for that also get added to the podcast as well. And that podcast is on YouTube and it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's all the different places. So you can consume more of that longer form content on the podcast as well. So it's on YouTube. And that's the words. Okay. It's so good to be back. I'm sending so much love.